Hello everyone, welcome to Gary Mack Studio. Today I want to show you how I do my pulled pork. And I've got this beautiful pork loin in the house, but right now I want to show you I made this little smoker to do small projects with. And I just kind of wanted to show this to you. It's not a big smoker. It's just big enough. It's just big enough to do what I need for two people. And I've got a big one. I've got a big one over here too. I've got a big one there that I made that I can do lots of stuff on it. And but this one is plenty big enough for two people, and I can put a good sized loin on this thing. And I made it to where it's got this one grate, and I can put two more of these in there and fill the whole thing if I wanted to. So let me show you how I do this thing. I just take some paper towel, and I'll just wad them up into a ball. And then I'll just take plain old vegetable oil, soak it in there a little bit. And what that does is makes a candle for my charcoal. And I'll use chunk charcoals. I don't use briquettes. I don't like the taste of the chemicals that they put in those briquettes. And then I just set that over that candle. I'll light it. I'll light that thing, and it won't take but a few minutes, and it'll catch those. It'll catch them charcoals on fire, and then the wood I use, I like to use pecan. Pecan's got a sweet, mild flavor, and it just makes a really good smoke for my purpose. And then whenever these get to going, then I'll come back. I'll take you inside there and get to show you how I prepare that loin for smoking. And oh, I just love cooking outside, cooking outdoors. It's just a fun thing for me. And I do it a lot. I'll come out here and cook stuff on this grill 2 or 3 times a week. And it just, boy, it's just really nice out here this morning. Nice and cool. Sun's coming up. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning. Let's check our fire. And, well, the fire went out. What's going on with the fire? These paper towels have been outside all night, and they're kind of damp. They don't want to light for some reason. I guess they're wet. I'll get them going in a minute. Get a little heat on them. Yeah, they're damp. It's real damp out of here this morning. Well, this ain't a very good start to a video, is it? Well, I'll bet we'll get them going here in a minute. Hopefully. I don't know if those are going to burn or not. Yeah, maybe it will. We'll see. These paper towels are kind of damp. They've been outside. They've been underneath this smoker here, and Yeah, they're going. It's going now. So we'll give that a few minutes and we'll. Boy, chickens are hollering this morning. It's just beautiful out here this morning. Hear them chickens? Can y'all hear them? There's my little shop back there in the back. If y'all can see it, where I do all my woodworking stuff. And then I got this fence around the yard to keep the deer and the goats, and this thing is beginning to gel now. So now then that this fire is going, let's go in there and take a look. Let's go in there and take a look at this pork loin. Okay, here's this beautiful loin, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cut a couple of these off of that I'm going to make some grill some pork chops out of. Yummy. Nice and thick. Be nice and tender. Now I'm gonna make a couple of pork chops out of that. That'll make a really good supper, some of that. Tempted to cut a couple more of them out of there. But I like that pulled pork as well. So I do this pretty often. And we make sandwiches if we want a quick snack, or I'm just gonna put them in the freezer for now. We'll cook them up later. That's some good stuff. Really good stuff. So now let's get back to this loin. And on my seasoning, I'll put some mustard on there as a binder to hold that rub. I'll show you what rub I'm going to use here in just a minute. But put a little mustard on there, and it don't take a whole lot. You can't taste the mustard. You can't taste the mustard when you do this, but it holds that seasoning onto the meat while it's cooking. And I like to use this Atkins Western style barbecue. I used to make my own rub, but this got everything in it that I always put in mine. And put it on pretty darn heavy. Kind of pat it down in there and let that moisture hold it on there, because this has got the brown sugars in it, and it's got all the spices and the garlic and everything that I used to make my own seasoning with. This is just a fun thing to do. I love to cook. And to tell you the truth, I love my own cooking. Now, a lot of guys will take and trim off. I'm going to trim off just a little bit of this fat, but not much. I like to leave a little bit of fat on there. There's not a lot of fat on this one. It's pretty skinny. Let me get a little binder on there. We're just going to have a good old feast this evening. So I'll put this on the smoker out there. By the time I get this ready, that fire will just about be ready to lay this on there. And then after it smokes for about 4 hours, I usually let her set for about 4 hours. And then I will pull this off of the smoker and I will wrap it with aluminum foil, and then I will put it in a crock pot and let it cook in that crock pot until that temperature reaches about 204 to 5 degrees, and it'll be just as tender as it can be. So let's go back out here and let's go back outside and check on our fire and see if it's see how it's doing. It's looking hot. It's getting on up there. It's getting up there. And I'm going to have to go in and I'm going to have to go and chop a little bit of firewood though, or smoking wood. Okay, these coals are hot. I'm going to move that grate over. We're just going to dump these out on the... I've got some more coals in there. I don't know why they call them coals, because they're definitely hot. Okay, got my fire going. And we're going to put some of this pecan wood on there. It don't take a whole lot. Let me open up the vent where it'll get a little air. Clean that grill off just a little bit. Let me go get that loin. And we're going to put it right on that fire. I'm telling you. That's some good stuff right there. Okay, that fire's looking pretty good. So I'm going to lay this on there, the fat side up. We're going to close it up. And it's about I like to cook it at around 240. I like to smoke it at around 240 degrees for about 4 hours. And then And I'll show you when we come and check this here. I'll come and check it here in about an hour and a half to make sure my fire and smoke is all good. And see you in a little bit. Yeah, it's smoking real good right now. So let's check the temperature. Right now the temperature is about 240. So I'm going to cut the fire down just a little bit. I don't want it to get no higher than that. Let me cut off some of this exhaust a little bit. I made this whole thing. I love doing that. I like making my own stuff. That way I can make it like I want it and I don't have to conform to the way somebody else likes it. And that just really does make it nice. Okay, that piece of pork been out there for about 4 hours. So I'm gonna take this. I'm just going to, let's go this way. Turn these edges up this way. We're gonna wrap this in foil. I've got the crock pot already heating up over here. It's been heating for a little while. Getting hot. We're just going to wrap this up like this. Now I'm going to wrap it again. I'm going to double wrap it. I don't want all them juices leaking out. I want them juices to stay in there. Because it will get juicy. All that fat starts rendering off there. Now we're just going to plop it right in there, if I can get her to fit. Well, this may be interesting. I may have to cut that thing in two. I'm gonna have to cut it in two to get it in the crock pot. Now, ain't that a bummer? So let's do this again. I had a bigger crock pot, but it went kaput on me. So I need to get a bigger one. I need to get a bigger one. I'm just going to cut her right down the middle. We'll stack them up in there. We'll do this again. I just want to be sure it's sealed up real good. Now then, let's see if that's going to fit in there. I don't know if it's going to fit in there or not. Barely. Alright, well, that's going to rest in there for probably about 6 hours. Till it reaches up to about 204 degrees. At 204 degrees, it'll be perfect. So I'll check it again here in about 2 or 3 hours. We'll see how it's progressing. And I'll tell you something else that's pretty good with this pulled pork, when you get it all pulled apart and you get it all pulled apart and put a little bit of taco seasoning in there, and I tell you what, it makes pretty good tacos or burritos. In fact, it makes darn good tacos. We do that with it sometimes. We'll make tacos, burritos, or just make a sandwich. Yummy. I love put some barbecue sauce on there and makes a really, really good barbecue sandwich. And put it on a Hiroshi bun. All right, I'll see you guys after a while. Okay, y'all ready to check this out and see it's showing to be about 205 degrees. So let's just open this baby up and let's see what we got in there. Woo, she's smoking and it is hot. Let me get a fork and let's see if that'll pull apart. Let's see if this stuff is done. Oh yeah. Ooh, ow, ooh, ow, ooh, ow. That is hot. That is just terribly good. Mmm. Ouch. You're gonna have to let it cool a little bit. I want some of that juice on it though. Make it not so dry. You want to buy it? Well, that's too bad. Okay, folks, that's it. We just have to, we're gonna have to let that cool before I can go tearing into it. But it's pretty, not a bit. Just whatever was in that. I'm gonna put this piece back in there because it was on top and it didn't get quite as done as that piece on the bottom. I'm gonna put that back in there and let that stew for about another 30-45 minutes. All right, guys, there you have it. We're gonna have some pulled pork tonight. And that is delicious. Boy, that'll make good tacos. All right, we'll catch you guys on the next one. Hey, y'all subscribe to Gary Mac Studio. And hit the thumbs up button on it if you would. I sure would appreciate it. Thank you. Bye-bye.